Your eyes do not deceive you. My hand is gigantic. No, so we're trying Balcones. As you know, we've loved their ryes, but this is their single malt whiskey.
Yeah.
And let's just get into it, because I don't know what to expect. I haven't tried many American single malts. So.
I will say this. Their corn whiskey was atrocious. Their rye whiskey is divine. I don't know what to expect from this whatsoever.
Right.
So let's hop into it.
Their young corn whiskey was atrocious. I've heard the regular corn whiskey's phenomenal.
Yeah, the higher proof, barrel proof, I've heard those are really good.
But...
Oh, that's funky.
That's very funky.
It smells like a scotch, which makes sense.
Single malt. Yeah.
Single malt, it smells single malt.
I wonder what the equivalent aging would be for aging a single malt in Texas versus aging a single malt in Scotland.
Here's the thing. I don't know what they age these in, because the single barrels, some of the single barrels have been aged in Buffalo Trace barrels, like reclaimed Buffalo Trace barrels.
Right.
I don't know what they typically do with their small batch single malt.
I don't know.
It smells like it's definitely not new oak, because there's a ton of fruit, ton of apricot, ton of maltiness.
Almost seems like it is used bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
It could be used barrels from one of their other whiskeys.
I get a ton of apple pie in it too. Like there's a lot of cinnamon apple pie on the
nose. I bet you they used the same barrels they used for their corn whiskey.
Probably. Because
especially a cask strength corn whiskey, you're gonna get a lot of those apple-y kind of notes.
That would make sense.
I bet you that they reused their own barrels for this.
Let's see. There's no bite on this at all.
I actually kind of like it.
I do too. It's very different. But for 106 proof, there's no bite on that.
No.
This drink's like a 90 proof whiskey.
So I guess I don't know what to describe the note I'm getting. Like the main one. I'm getting like a milk chocolate on the finish.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has to do with the climate to some degree.
Yeah.
That super chocolatey note on younger whiskey.
It's pulling that chocolate note out from the oak because of the heat. Because I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, and the finish is like, I almost feel like there's melted candy bar in my mouth.
It has the peach rings of a malt whiskey, like an Irish malt whiskey, and it doesn't have the funk of a scotch that I don't like, because I usually don't like scotch because it has some weird funk to it.
Right.
On the front
I
end...
feel like this is the best scotch I've had. I feel like that's my way to describe this.
Except for Abenaki.
Well, yeah, but it's one of my favorite scotches, and it's not a scotch. It just clearly, I think this follows the practices of a scotch.
Yeah. The front end is impossible to describe, because it like goes into the peach ring middle and then the chocolate finish, which is an odd combination, but somehow it works.
It's almost a green note.
Yeah, it's kind of herbal. Actually, yeah, it's very herbal. Cardamom. Cardamom is the note I'm getting.
It's... I really like this. I might have to buy a bottle eventually, because we carry this.
That's the thing, though. I don't know if I would buy a bottle of this, because I like the rye way better. And Balcones, it has that signature Balcones to it that makes me think, this is good, but I would rather drink the rye.
Right.
The other thing, too, is the price, because the rye is $40.
I mean, this is
70.
Yeah. How much is the little shooter?
I think I got that for $4.
That's not bad.
$4 or $5.
Actually, that's not bad.
I mean, I ordered it with the, whenever I bought the rye, and I bought a gift for a friend. Whenever I got that order, I got this too, because I'm like, oh, I can finally try it, because there's no bar that has this.
Right.
Bars don't carry Texas whiskey.
Unless someone specifically requests that it comes in, and then they have to know that they're gonna be biting some money on it, because it's gonna sit forever.
Yeah. Unless you're a whiskey bar, which, like, you know that some things are going to sit for a while.
Right. But you also know you're going to have your money makers that you can get all the stuff that'll sit for a while.
Yeah. And typically, a whiskey bar is a labor of love, because they know that some stuff is going to sit, and they make sure to buy a ton of the stuff that's going to sell out quick. Mm. That's why you always see Eagle.
That's why they come in and buy 6 cases of Angel's Envy, but then also go and buy the weird cask strength that you would never think to try.
Right.
Because someone's going to eventually be like, oh, you know what? I don't want to buy a bottle, but I'll try it.
That's why the Warren...
That's us. That's literally us.
That's why the Warren has a ton of Japanese, because not many people in America buy Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh,
that's
you know what else I found out he has? Just Magnus cigar blend.
who is it? The
Like,
Warren?
I don't know if the Warren does, but I know Steve Warren bought some because it was under Penn Cove, which he owns, and it showed up as an order.
I need to try that.
He also got 3 cases of liters of mellow corn somehow.
What the fuck, man?
Liters. I mean, he's a bar, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants, but bars can get some crazy shit that we can't get.
I need to become a regular there and just point blank ask, can I buy a bottle of mellow corn off of you?
He would, listen, he likes us, he'd probably say yes anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
He comes into my store all the time, he likes me.
The first time he met us, we did buy
George T. Stagg, William Leroy Weller, Little Book Chapter 2. And I mean, my cheap one was still like a decent pour.
Yeah, he knew that we knew what we were drinking that day. And then he gave
when
us...
he left the bottle so we could take a look at it and everything.
Yes, and then he literally gave us a free shot of Joni Drum.
Right.
Which I do have a bottle of that at your place, by the way. We can try that one too.
Exciting.
Yes.
But anyway,
This
I came in with very low expectations of liking it.
I like
And
it.
I was surprised.
I like it, but to me, this is not a $70 bottle.
That I could probably agree with.
That being said, I would be very interested in trying the store picks that they have of this.
Yes.
Because I have seen store picks that are about the same price as the standard, oddly enough. And I'd like to try them, but
I mean,
like
the
I'm
rye
hesitant.
wasn't that much more expensive than the regular rye, right?
$15.
Yeah.
Although it was on sale.
I mean,
It was on sale, but yeah, the shipping was the big hitter at that point.
that's your bottle, yeah.
Which one? Yes, that's my bottle of water. Yeah, honestly, I feel like for the price, the rye is the best thing you can get from Balcones.
I'd have to agree.
The corn whiskey, Baby Blue sucked. I haven't tried True Blue, so I can't say anything about True Blue.
Right.
Because True Blue is older and it's a higher proof. But, that being said, I do like Garrison Brothers and what they have to offer. And...
That Balmoral was fucking delicious.
I have been nipping at that slowly.
Yeah.
Because I'm never going to see it for that price again.
Yeah. You got it for what, 150?
170, I think.
That's not, yeah, that's like,
For
not much higher than MSRP, right? The MSRP on their bottles is really high because they're craft.
Yes.
But it's one of those ones where I can justify that price too.
Yeah, and the average price for that is like at least $250. I've seen it go up to $300. So I saw it. I've been wanting to try it for years.
And then when you saw it at under the average price, you're like, yeah, we're doing this.
I couldn't say no. And like this was on a vacation where I'm like, I'm spending money. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I gave myself a budget.
Did you blow that budget out of the water?
I blew it by about $200 because I
So
found...
a bottle.
In my defense, I found a ton of bakers, old bakers that I couldn't
And
say no
Granny's
to.
batch.
And Granny's batch, yeah. Which I again couldn't say no to because Granny's batch is my favorite Booker's batch to date.
And you grabbed one for Drew, and Drew gave you that kosher wheat.
Yes, yeah, that was what we traded for, and that was a solid trade.
100%.
Because he offered me a couple other things. I'm like, I will happily accept cash repayment. Like, don't worry about it. But like, I'm not interested in these bottles. And he's like, I have a kosher wheat. And I'm like,
And you're like, you
sold.
know what? Let's do it.
Sold.
You're not gonna find it that cheap.
No.
But
And kosher wheat is basically candy in a bottle.
it is. It still is. I've
That
revisited
excites
it
me.
twice since, and it has not. It's changed, but not drastically.
I'm excited to crack that one open again.
Right.
Anyways.
But anyway,
Balcones.
Balcones, Texas single malt.